that you haven't seen since, the great American West was won. I think that probably informs a lot of her decisions. When she looks at Alaska First policies, I think that's what she's thinking about. When she looks at the budget and decides we can sell a plane on eBay, I think that's what's informing her policies. A sort of common sense, personal responsibility kind of dogma. So it might not be as academic as some other conservatives or liberals, but I think she does have a philosophy that you could easily sort of delineate and point to as the result of her, many of her decisions as a governor.
Would Barack Obama have won the Democratic nomination, let alone the presidency, if he had not been black?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. But, I really think it's funny how we've chosen to paint this election as just this, he came out gangbusters, this unbelievable orator with, all this charisma, these great new ideas. It really wasn't that. What happened was a relative unknown but tireless and talented self-promoter won an election by exploiting gaping weaknesses in a bad economy, an unpopular predecessor, and a really inconsistent opponent to win by a mere 6 percentage points. And that's not me being bitter. That's the facts. That's what happened. And I think Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, a number of people could have won in that circumstance. It was a hard job for any Republican in 2008, and so I don't see his race, least of all, as one of the factors. I think he was very good at exploiting some very obvious weaknesses.
So you don't think there was a significant guilty white vote that many millions felt that by voting for Barack Obama they were proving they were not a racist?
I believe in white guilt, and we interviewed Shelby Steele, and he is sort of the foremost authority there, and he's just brilliant as far as I'm concerned. I believe that exists, but I really don't think that it was a huge factor in the election. I think he won because he had a better grassroots campaign. He, again, exploited huge weaknesses that were just out there for anyone to exploit. And I think people wanted a change. And I understand that. I really do, even as a Bush supporter. I really think that's what it had mostly to do with.
Did you read The Bell Curve?
No.
Which parts of life would you most like to understand that you don't feel like you understand right now?
Oh, faith, for sure. Faith. I want a better understanding. It's why I'm studying it in grad school. It's what I'm writing my next book on. It's why I write about religion now, and it's why I defend religious America. I think that'll always be my sort of last frontier. That's always going to be something that I'm exploring and studying and trying to get to know better.
What are you studying at graduate school?
Well, it's an individual program, so there's only like 20 of us in this program, and we can all sort of set our own curriculum. So my project at grad school has been a comparison study of the devotional practices of the religious faithful against those of sports fans, and looking at fandom as a form of worship in a very sort of religious sense. So that's what I'm writing my thesis on, and my second book, second or third at this point, I'm not sure, will be on that.
Wow. How far along are you?
Well, I've begun my thesis. It's due in a year, so I'm at the end of my school. I've been there for 5 years because I've done it part-time. So it's taken quite a while, but I'm finally nearing the end, and just putting all of my research together. But I've been trying to do something on this for a really long time, and in fact went to grad school so that I would sort of have the gravitas to talk about these kinds of things.
Which fictional characters, be it in literature, film, or TV, do you most identify with?
That's a great question. You know, this is probably going to sound horrible, but I really love Harry Angstrom in Rabbit Run, John Updike.
Yes.
It's always been my favorite book, and I just identify with his sort of, I think everyone can identify with him in that everyone wants to check out once in a while and just say, I've had it with my responsibilities, I'm walking away. But no one really has the guts to do it. You know, I certainly don't. I don't know many people that do that. And I don't know that everyone would agree that that's a brave thing to do, but I thought it was really brave. And, you know, he made a lot of mistakes, but I just identified with him. Another one is Meursault in Camus' The Stranger, another character who really sort of has the guts to live the way he wants to live, regardless of sort of society's disgust at his behavior, at his like lack of empathy, his lack of compassion. Those are, I think, really interesting characters, and I don't know that I try to be like them, but I do. I identify with them. That those characters really spoke to me when I first read them.
Wow! So for a really happy up girl, the two fictional characters you most identify with are pretty sad people. They are sad existentialists, but I really find some integrity and some honesty in those characters, and you know, I don't know. I really kind of prize self-knowledge and honesty, and I think they were honest people. When you've had time to read for pleasure, what have you read? Oh God, it's been forever because I've been reading so much for school. You know, it's been Durkheim and Foucault and Weber and Derrida, which makes me want to blow my brains out. But that's I hate Foucault. Basically what I've been doing for the past 5 years. You know what I read recently? Cock and Bull by Will Self, which was hilarious. He's a great British satirist, and his stuff is just really funny. That was a good read. Huh. How much, if at all, has Facebook, MySpace affected your life? Oh my God, enormously. I was so reticent to get on Facebook because, like I said, I'm just not like a social networker at all. And the idea of like putting my information up on a web page and updating people as to my status, I found it abhorrent. But I have to say that in terms of, you know, promoting my work, it's been invaluable. I mean, I can put my writing up there. I can let people know when I'm going to be at a certain place for whether it's a book signing or a speech or a TV. And, you know, I can, accumulate sort of a friend base. I don't like to say fan base because I think that's pretty obnoxious, but you know, I can interact with people who want to interact with me and learn more about my work, and that's it. Like I said, it's been absolutely invaluable. I fired my publicist after two months because I was just getting everything I needed, even professional contacts, off Facebook. So I will say I'm very pissed. I'm very annoyed that Facebook has cut off your friends at 5,000. There's a cap. And I can no longer add friends, which I just find kind of communist. Like, I should be the one to decide how many friends I can have, not you. So I've been trying to sort of plead with them to remove the cap, but no luck so far.
Can you point to any